Hey guys, this is Kronos with a video on historic Bitcoin price and how to read it. What a lot of people do when they look at the historic price of Bitcoin is they get myopia. They see what's right in front of them, but they aren't able to look a little bit further back. And that's simply because of what the price of Bitcoin has done. In the most recent past, it's been above $100, between 100 and 1,000, let's say, at the time of this recording anyway. But before that, when it was below 100 or even below 10, everything just shrinks away because those numbers are so much smaller. So I'm going to show you the key to seeing what was really happening, kind of pulling the data out of that chart. And the trick is known as log scale charts or logarithmic scale. This is something that every trader knows like the back of their hand, but the media often gets it wrong. If you read an article about Bitcoin and it's got a chart of the Bitcoin price, they often really just show what just happened and you don't see the past because it all looks so small. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's get started. The website we're using today is called Crypto Watch, and I would highly recommend it. It's a way you can watch your crypto and crypto prices. So here's the address up here. It's very tricky to type in. You have to put the period just before the CH. It's not cryptowatch.com. It's cryptowa.sh. But after you get that figured out, you can arrive at this website. I like the website because it has a variety of different exchanges and it presents the data in a very clean and easy to read format. So here's my exchange picker here. I can go Bitfinex, Coinbase, Bitstamp, Kraken, or Kraken if you prefer, BTCE, and a whole slew of others. It even has futures and altcoins as well. Let's look at the Bitstamp prices because Bitstamp's been in existence for a long time. So we're going to get a lot of historic price from that. Some of the other exchanges like Bitfinex, you're not going to be able to go back to 2012. So here we go at the Bitfinex price. The Bitstamp price. The next drop down here is the width of each candle. This is a candle chart, which is something you should get used to if you're actually enjoying looking at price charts because it's got a lot of information that a simple line chart doesn't have. Let me show you, for example, at the 15-minute candles, what I'm talking about. So let's zoom in on this. Here are some 15-minute candles. I'm scrolling with the mouse wheel. So a candle tells you what happened in every 15-minute band. Every candle represents 15 minutes of trading, and red or green represents the price going up or down during that candle. So this price here, this one's green, so it went up. The price started at the fat part of the rectangle and ended at the fat part of the rectangle. We know it went in this direction. But the wick means it went up to that during that time span, during the 15 minutes, and then went back down. So the price did reach up here and it did reach down here during that time. So it may have gone something like this, down and up and down, or something else. I mean, it lasted for 15 minutes. So does that make sense? Started here, ended here. But it also oscillated all the way up to this point. The red one is going the other direction, so you know it started up here at the top and ended at the bottom. So this is better than just a line graph that goes something like this, because you know that it jumped up here at this point. It's also better than a line graph that goes all the way up here, because it kind of tells you a little bit more that it was there very briefly instead of there for a longer amount of time. So I like candle charts, and after you're familiar with them, you might like them as well. So this drop down changes the width of the candle. If we choose 1 hour candles, we can see a little bit more granular detail. This is what the price did in 1 hour. Clearly it shot way up from 271 to 281. I liked that hour very much. One of the best hours of my life. Let's look at longer range. Here's the 1 day candles. Each candle represents 1 day of trading. So for example, here today, the price has gone all the way up to 294, but it really started here and ended here so far today. So it went way up here and then back down. So that's a fun way to kind of see all of the data in a picture, so to speak. It's a picture of a candle if you squint really hard. But let's look at the 1 week candles because that'll give us the biggest view toward the longest history back. So scroll way out here. Oh, I'm already cheating. I'm already doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. Hold on. There we go. This is what people see when they look at historic Bitcoin price. They see this huge bubble right here. And I'm talking about right now at the recording of this video. If you're watching this recording in 2016 or 2017, you're going to see something much different because Bitcoin is volatile. It's like a chipmunk on too much caffeine. It goes up and down like a yo-yo. That's going up and down. That's what yo-yos do. Anyway, so this looks huge here, and this part looks tiny because it's in the past. Actually, because it's scaled way down. The high point here was 266 on Mt. Gox, slightly different on Bitstamp, but not exactly sure, 250, something like that. And the high point here is 1,000. So this looks much, much bigger. It's not. Here's the secret. Down back here before this big bubble, the price is about $10. Let's see, right here. The price is $10. That's what the opening price right here. This is the opening price, $10. The high price was $10.96. The low price was $10.25. This is for this specific candle, and I don't even know what that means. Not that I care. So it was $10 here, and it jumped up to $100 here. That's a 10 times growth. What does that mean? Invest $1 in Bitcoin, you're going to get, okay, let's say you invest $100 in Bitcoin, and it was $10 each, so that's going to give you 10 Bitcoins. 10 times 10 is 100. Now it goes up to $100 each. You still have your 10 Bitcoins, so now you have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. It's a 10 times growth. But let's take a look at the next bubble here. It goes up to $1,000. That's another 10 times growth. But take a look at this chart. This is a tiny growth, and this is a huge growth. So if you're not knowing what you're looking at, you're going to get the idea that this second growth is much, much bigger. That's completely wrong. Completely wrong. And this is important. This is why you're watching the video. This price here is exactly the same growth as this price. Now, it doesn't feel like it, but in terms of investing $1 in Bitcoin, in terms of tracking gains and losses, it is the same thing. So now I'm going to show you what every trader already knows, which is the logarithmic chart. And on this website, you click the gear up here in the upper right, and it opens up this cool list of options. You can turn on and off all kinds of things like the grid. Oh, the grid is on. Oh, now I know what I'm looking at. And lots of things I can't pronounce, which are great. You should play around with them. But what I want to focus on in this video is the y-axis, linear versus logarithmic. So logarithmic is a fancy way to say the right distance on your screen is the right return on your investment. It's going to actually match up. Now let's take this out of view so we can look at the chart. So I clicked logarithmic. Now what do we see? Here's the $10 point. Here's the $100 point. Here's the $1,000 point. It's the same distance of growth. Look at that. The arrows are the same length. Mind blown. This is the way you should look at every price history chart, every stock chart, every currency chart, every commodity chart, every Bitcoin chart, every Litecoin. I don't care what you're looking at. It should be log scale. People don't like log scale because they're dumb. I can't think of another reason. Because if you look at the numbers over here on the right, you've got 1,000 here, 500 here, and 284. This is not making sense. And 31 here, because they're not evenly spaced. So people like things that are evenly spaced. I can see why they use linear charts. Maybe they're not actually dumb. They just seem dumb to me. But let's ignore that for now. What's important is that the same amount of growth, in this case 10 times, is the same amount of distance. And now you can see if you scroll back to the beginning of where this chart begins that there were many bubbles and they were all large. This guy going up here, this guy going up here, this guy going up here, and this guy going up here are also great big bubbles. So of course you can extrapolate and say the future will be the same as the past. We're going to 10,000. I actually do think we're going to 10,000, but that's beside the point. We might not be going to 10,000, but we'll find out. I'll come back to this video when we do. I'll say, oh, I was right. Very good. But also we've got some horrible declines. This is $1,100 down to $200. That's pretty bad. So looking at the linear scale, you'd say that's the worst crash we've ever seen. It's actually not. We had other huge crashes here, and some of them were worse than others. The crash from $35 down to $2 was pretty bad. And now that we're on log scale, we can kind of see that. So I beseech you, I behoove you, use log scale charts, especially when you're looking back over a long time span. It's the only way to get a true idea of what kind of return was really possible in the past. And this makes Bitcoin, by the way, look a lot better because instead of saying, oh, it went up to the sky or the moon, and then it went down into the ground or the basement, now you can say, oh, it just keeps going up. It never stops going up. Exactly. Bitcoin never stops going up. Lesson learned. Hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed exploring this data and kind of learning what Bitcoin has been doing. In the future, I don't know what's going to happen, but at least I can watch it in real time at CryptoWatch. That's CryptoWatch. Let me show you that again. Okay, so here's my browser. You're going to browse to CryptoWatch. Okay, I'm done saying that. But if you browse there, you can go look at this data yourself and play around with all of the different indicators and all that fun stuff on your own computer. So I recommend doing that. I'll put a link in the video description. If you have any questions or comments on the video, feel free to post them below the video in the video comments. This has been Kronos. I meant to say, I'm Kronos. Thanks for watching.